You're sitting in your car at 7:47 a.m. in the parking lot of a job you barely tolerate, scrolling through Instagram, watching some 26-year-old in Tulum talk about passive income while you haven't even clocked in yet. Your coffee's already cold. Your check engine light's been on for 3 weeks. And in exactly 13 minutes, you're going to walk through those doors, sit at that desk, and do the same thing you did yesterday for the same money you got last Friday. And here is what is going to destroy you when I say it out loud. That job you're dreading right now, it is the single biggest investor in your entire life. And you've been treating it like a broken ATM that only dispenses base salary. Every 2 weeks, someone deposits thousands of dollars into your account. No pitch deck required, no equity surrendered, no board seat, just your time. And you're cashing the check, spending it at Target by Saturday, and showing up Monday wondering why you're not getting ahead. I'm Wolf. I've spent the last decade watching people stumble backward into wealth while thinking they were just showing up to work. And I've watched 10 times more people do the exact opposite. Grind for years, decades even, and end up with nothing but a 401k they never contributed to and a benefits portal they logged into once during onboarding while thinking about where to eat lunch. The math on this is so obvious it is almost insulting, and that is what makes it painful. Because you're not broke because your salary is too low. You are broke because you are only capturing maybe 60% of what your employer is actually offering you. The rest, you're leaving it on a table you didn't even know existed. Now, look, I already know what some of you are thinking. Wolf, that is cute, but my employer doesn't offer anything. No match, no HSA, no tuition, nothing. And if that is genuinely your situation, we need to talk about that too. Because that means you're working for an investor who is giving you the worst term sheet on the market and you haven't even shopped around. You are accepting series of funding from someone who won T, even throw in a 401k match. That is not loyalty. That is financial self-harm. But for the rest of you, the ones who do have access to a match, an HSA education, reimbursement, wellness stipends, you're ignoring a deal that would make any Silicon Valley founder physically ill with jealousy. Your company is literally saying, for every dollar you put in, we'll put in a dollar too. No strings, no equity dilution, just free money. And 1/3 of you, 1 out of every 3 people reading this, aren't even contributing enough to get the full match. You are saying no to a guaranteed 100% return on investment. Find me a hedge fund manager who can promise that you can't. That person doesn't exist, and if they did, they'd be in handcuffs. That is like a vendor walking into your business offering to pay you double for your product and you saying, nah, I'm too busy trying to make money. The logic is upside down, it is backwards, it is broken, and I get it, I genuinely get it, you're exhausted. You're staring at rent that went up again. You're watching your grocery bill hit numbers that used to be your car payment. Someone in the comments said they needed this video because they've been feeling worn out at work lately. And honestly, same energy for most of the country right now. Everyone's running on fumes and resentment. But that exhaustion is exactly why you can't afford to ignore this. Because while you're too tired to log into your benefits portal, too drained to figure out what an HSA actually does, too burnt out to fill out the tuition reimbursement form, your employer is sitting there holding a check with your name on it, and every pay period you don't claim it, that check gets shredded. Not rolled over, not saved for later, shredded. You're not just leaving money on the table, you're refusing a capital injection from an investor who is actively trying to fund your escape plan. And you don't even realize you're doing it because nobody, not HR, not your manager, not your financially illiterate uncle at Thanksgiving, nobody sat you down and explained what you're actually sitting on. So now here's where I need to get aggressive with you. Because the lies you've been told about work and money are so deeply embedded in your skull that you think they're your own thoughts. They're not, they're scripts, and somebody else wrote them. Lie number 1, I can afford to contribute to my 401k right now. Stop. Listen to yourself. You are telling me you can afford free money. You can afford a guaranteed 100% return. You spent $11.47 at Starbucks this week. You are paying $14.99 for a streaming service you opened 3 months ago and haven't watched since Tuesday of launch week. You got a $187 monthly subscription stack you forgot half of because it auto-renews and you never check your statements. But you can afford to put in 6% to get the match. That is not a budget problem. That is a priority problem wearing a budget costume. Lie number 2, benefits don't really matter. It is all about the salary. This one makes me physically tired. You're negotiating like someone who walks into a car dealership and says, I don't care about the engine, just make the paint look nice. Your benefits package is worth roughly 30% of your base salary, 30%. If you are making $70,000 and you are ignoring the benefits, you are walking past $21,000 every single year. Like it is a penny on a gas station floor. That is not confidence. That is financial illiteracy dressed up as indifference. Lie number 3, and this is the big one. The one the internet screams at you every single day from every algorithm, boosted reel, and TikTok and podcast clip. Jobs are a trap. Real wealth comes from quitting and going solo. I am so tired of this narrative, so deeply, bone level tired. Some 24-year-old with a ring light and a rented Airbnb background is telling you to quit your W-2 and start dropshipping. He has got 400,000 followers and $612 in his checking account. But he has got the aesthetic, he has got the palm trees, he has got the MacBook on the hotel balcony. And you're sitting in your cubicle feeling like a failure because you still have a boss. Here is what that guy doesn't show you. He doesn't have health insurance, he doesn't have a 401k match. He doesn't have an employer putting $1,000 a year into an HSA for him. He doesn't have tuition reimbursement. He doesn't have the W-2 income history that lets a bank hand him a mortgage at 6.5% instead of laughing him out of the building. He traded stability for content. You're being asked to admire the trade, don't. The people who actually build wealth, the boring ones nobody makes reels about, they're maxing their match, stuffing their HSA, claiming every reimbursement, and deploying that salary into index funds and rental properties on the weekends. They're not dramatic. They're not inspirational. They're just methodical. And in 10 years, they re-sitting on $600,000 while the quit your 9 to -5 guy is launching his 4th failed course. Lie number 4, my employer doesn't offer anything good, so none of this applies to me. Someone in the comments said exactly this, and honestly, I respect the honesty. But here is what I need you to hear. If your employer offers no match, no HSA, no education reimbursement, no wellness stipend, nothing, then you don't have a benefits problem, you have an employer problem. You're accepting the worst term sheet on the market and calling it loyalty. That is not commitment. That is Stockholm Syndrome with direct deposit. You wouldn't stay with a bank that charged you fees and offered 0% interest, you switch. So why are you staying with an employer whose total compensation package is just a salary and a parking spot? The job market is a negotiation. Every year you stay with a bottom tier investor. You're not being loyal. You're being subsidized below market rate and saying, thank you. And the worst lie of all, the silent one. The one nobody actually says out loud, but everybody lives by. I'll figure it out later. Later is a lie your brain tells you, so you don't have to feel the panic right now. Later is you at 53, logging into a 401k with $40,000 in it, wondering where 30 years went. Later is you realizing the tuition reimbursement program got discontinued in 2026 and you never used it once. Later is the most expensive word in the English language because it costs you everything and charges you nothing today. That is the trap, not the job. The job was never the trap. So let's talk about what you're actually supposed to do with all of this. Because knowing your employer is your biggest investor means nothing if you keep treating your benefits portal like terms and conditions on an iTunes update. Step 1, tomorrow morning, not next week. Not when you have time tomorrow. You log into that benefits portal, the one you visited once during onboarding between choosing your dental plan and wondering if the vending machine takes Apple Pay. You pull up every single line item. 401k match percentage, HSA eligibility, tuition reimbursement cap, wellness stipend, life insurance options, disability coverage. Every single one. You're doing an audit of your investor's term sheet because right now you're operating on vibes and whatever Karen from accounting mentioned in the break room 8 months ago. Step 2, the 401k. You set your contribution to at least match the full employer percentage, not $1 less. If they match 6%, you contribute 6%, minimum, non-negotiable. Someone in the comments said their company matched them 100% plus an extra $2,000 on top. That is not a benefit. That is a heist in reverse, and your employer is the one handing you the bag. If you are at $65,000 and your match is 6%, that is $3,900 free dollars per year. At 7% average, returns over 25 years, that match alone turns into $246,000. Just the match, just the free money you didn't even earn. You left $250,000 inside a website you forgot your password to. Step 3. The HSA. If you're on a high deductible health plan, you're eligible. 2024 individual contribution limit is $4,150. Family is $8,300. Your employer might kick in $500 to $1,500 on top of that. Here is what you do. You max it. You don't touch it. You pay for your doctor visits and your prescriptions out of pocket, out of your checking account, not the HSA. Why? Because that HSA money grows tax-free. And when you're 63 and your knees sound like bubble wrap, you pull it out tax-free for medical expenses. Or after 65, you pull it out for anything and just pay income tax like a regular retirement account. You basically built a second 401k that nobody talks about because it doesn't have a Super Bowl commercial. Step 4. Tuition reimbursement. Call HR today, not email, call. Ask them the exact dollar cap, the eligible programs, and the reimbursement process. Most companies offer $5,250 tax-free per year under Section 127. Some go way higher. One person in the comments got their entire $40,000 master's degree paid for by their employer. $40,000 for free, while still collecting a salary. That is not a job. That is a scholarship that also pays you rent. Use it for certifications, use it for a degree, use it for whatever makes you more expensive on the open market. Because those skills don't belong to your employer, they belong to you. You walk out that door and every credential follows you like a loyal dog. Step 5. The raise firewall. This is where most people blow it. You get promoted, you go from $65K to $80K. That is $15,000 more per year. And what do most people do? They upgrade the apartment, they finance the car, they start ordering the large instead of the medium. 3 months later, they're somehow still broke but with nicer stuff. You take that $15,000 difference and you build a wall around it. Set up a separate savings account. Automate the transfer the day your paycheck hits. That money never touches your checking account. It never mingles with your grocery budget. It never sees the inside of a restaurant. You pretend the raise didn't happen. Your lifestyle stays at $65K. The gap between what you earn and what you spend becomes your entire wealth building engine. Step 6. The job hop sign. Every 2 to 3 years, you shop your term sheet, you interview, you negotiate. Average salary increase from switching jobs is 10 to 20%. Staying at the same company, 3 to 4% if you're lucky. That is not a raise, that is an inflation apology. The people who stay for 20 years out of loyalty aren't being rewarded, they're being discounted. Every switch is a new funding round, better salary, better match, signing bonus. You're not being disloyal, you're closing a better deal for you, incorporated. FIN Step 7. Deploy. Every dollar you save beyond the emergency fund goes into something that grows. Index funds, rental property, something that works while you sleep. Your salary is the seed money. Your benefits are the fertilizer. Your discipline is the only thing standing between you and a net worth that makes the job optional. This isn't complicated, it is just annoying. And most people would rather feel busy than do the boring thing that actually works. What is going to happen after this video ends? Nothing. For most of you, absolutely nothing. You're going to close this tab, you're going to open DoorDash. You are going to order $27 worth of mid-Thai food and scroll through someone else's highlight reel until your eyes go dry. And tomorrow morning at 7:47 a.m., you're going to be right back in that parking lot. Cold coffee, check engine light, same dread, same job, same you. And that is not because you're lazy. It is not because you're dumb. It is because the version of you listening to this right now is the same version that has been losing this game for years. And that version has got to die. I'm serious. The person you are right now, the one who knows their benefits portal password, is probably still the default from 2021. The one who saw HSA on a form and felt their brain go fuzzy like a TV losing signal. That person cannot build wealth. That person is designed to consume content about wealth, nod along, feel briefly inspired, and then do absolutely nothing different on Monday. You've turned financial education into Netflix, you binge it, you feel something, you move on, and meanwhile, the clock is eating you alive. Every 2 weeks that direct deposit hits, and you spend it without routing a single dollar through the infrastructure your employer already built for you. You're not standing still, you're falling behind. Because compounding doesn't wait for you to feel ready. Compounding doesn't care that you're tired. Compounding is running right now, tonight, this second, for the people who set it up. And for you, it is running in reverse. Every month of inaction is a month where your future self gets poorer and your present self doesn't even feel it. That is the cruelty of it. You can't feel the loss. You won't feel it for 20 years, and by then it is 6 figures deep and completely irreversible. Someone in the comments said they've been maxing their 401k match for 10 years, got their employer to pay for a $40,000 master's degree, nearly tripled their salary. You know what separates that person from you? It is not intelligence. It is not luck. It is not connections. It is that at some point they decided to stop being a spectator in their own financial life. They logged into the portal, they filled out the form, they made the call to HR. That is it. That is the whole difference. One Tuesday afternoon where they chose to act instead of scroll. And you're still out here acting like the universe owes you a sign. The sign is the match you're not claiming. The sign is the HSA you've never opened. The sign is the $5,250 in tuition money that expires every the 31st of December, whether you use it or not. The signs are everywhere. You just keep walking past them because doing nothing feels safer than admitting you've been wasting your own resources for years. Let me tell you what is actually scary. It is not the stock market. It is not inflation. It is not your rent going up again. It is you at 54, sitting in that same parking lot, different car, same check engine, light, scrolling through the same kind of content. Except now you're not tired from working. You're tired from realizing you can't stop. The job isn't optional anymore. The job is oxygen. You didn't build the portfolio, you didn't stack the HSA, you didn't use the grants. And now the runway is gone, and you're trying to take off on a dirt road with no fuel. That is not a metaphor. That is your coworker, Dave. That is your aunt who works the holiday shift at 61 because she has to. That is the version of you that is waiting at the end of every year you waste. And the people who escape it, they're not geniuses. They're not grinding 18-hour days. They're boring. They're methodical. They automated a transfer, maxed a match, and let time do the violence. That is it. Boring people with boring index funds and boring HSA who are quietly, invisibly, irreversibly free. You want to keep being interesting, keep being broke and dramatic about it. Post about your burnout, tweet about the economy, complain about your boss in a group chat with 4 people who are also going nowhere. Or you can become the most boring person, the one who reads the term sheet, the one who fills out the form, the one who shows up Monday and treats the paycheck like what it actually is. Not a consolation prize for lost time, not a life sentence. Seed capital from an investor who doesn't even know they're funding your exit. Your employer thinks they own your future. Prove them wrong so quietly they don't notice until you're already gone. The graveyard of middle-class potential isn't filled with people who failed. It is filled with people who knew exactly what to do and never once did it. Don't be most people,